So we have a customer of ours, Alan. Mom's car's here, and check engine light on. He said he believes it needs brakes, and then she was arguing with him saying it doesn't need brakes. And then Jude took him home last night, and he said it needs some type of brake work. But since we're doing a diagnostic with our Autotel, it had a large evap leak, and then we're waiting for the engine to get up to temperature so we can actually force a test with the evap monitor test. It should be ready for an evap monitor test, so let's get into it. Let's see. That's all your conditions. Now it's doing it. But the engine light was on for po455. The engine sounds really noisy. And we got coolant temp. What's bad about these self-tests in these cars, some of them don't do a very small, some of them only do a large. So, you know, sometimes you think you got it and then you don't. And this is only because of the systems that we're using. So now it passed the evap test.
Why would that happen?
So a large evap leak could happen from a purge valve, it could happen from the gas cap, and it could happen from the vent valve. If it sticks open during self-test, doesn't seal, then there's your large leak. So if it closes and doesn't close all the way, then it's going to have a small leak or very small leak or medium leak. But at least, and the airbag light's on. So let's see why the airbag light's on too.
Now it's on.
We didn't, you know. So escape from there. And then go into airbag systems. So this is our diagnostic. We did kind of a visual inspection first, and anytime I have a large evap leak, I look to see if the gas cap was loose or left off. I give it the old
test?
No.
The airbag?
I give it the old 3-click turn. Find airbags. Airbag event. Trouble codes. Battery voltage too low. Driver's dab resistance too high. Driver's dab to second stage. Drivers, okay, so that means the driver's airbag in the steering wheel. Driver's resistance too high, stage 1, stage 2. This typically means, in my experience, it needs a clock spring. Okay? So take pictures of that. So it needs a new battery. Because the airbag system saying it's sensing low voltage.
Let me see about it. Well, that's history.
Yeah, that's actual trouble codes. That's what they're saying. It's history. Same shit. Okay. All right, so it needs a battery. It needs a clock spring. Pretty confident that you can go into all data and look up those codes and confirm what it says. So then the next part of this inspection, after we got the engine up to temperature, was our undercarriage visual inspection. We can see that it needs brakes all the way around. I also said, hey, while it's here, check the air filter, and you can see we're not taking it apart just in case the customer declines it. That's skanked up. It's a GDI. It's probably never had a GDI service. I'm going to be sure as shit that it's never had spark plugs. We're going to bet the cabin air filter hasn't been done. So now Jude's going to shut it off. He's going to check the oil, and we're going to take a look at the drive belt, accessory drive belt, and see what condition that is at 75,000 miles. So a lot goes into a diagnostic for a car, and the customer didn't request a full diagnostic, just the engine, but I'm going to give them the full service on it. And the belt actually looks good, and it may be original, but it still looks good. Wipe it down, son. You know, people are like, oh, why is there a charge to diagnose my car? Well, we're using $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of scan tool equipment sometime. 1, 2 people sometimes are diagnosing your car. The lights don't run for free. The updates on the scan tool aren't free. All data isn't free. And then we're pulling the engine oil dipstick. There's no oil in it. So this car doesn't have an oil leak. It has an oil consumption problem at 75,000 miles. So we're going to recommend doing a motor flush to this too and see if we can't loosen the stuck rings already.
Yeah, no, there's no fucking oil.
When was the last time the oil change was done? Look at the sticker. So let's see what oil change intervals Alan Van Mom's car is getting here. So that's not. And I heard the motor was noisy, and it, my trained ear said I can hear the engine over the high pressure mechanical pump on top of the engine. Is that a quick lube?
I don't think so,
Let me
but
see.
I don't know. There's no date, mileage, or anything.
It's probably
Or it's
so fucking
that
old.
faded that
Well, it's odd that they were there at some point in time and the air filter is like way past its usable limits. So anyway, that's our diagnostic for this car. I'm gonna make some recommendations based on my experience for the large evap leak. How old is this car? 75,000 miles. 12 years old. So purge valve, vent valve are probably near the end of their useful life based on my experience with these cars. Gas caps don't last forever. So I got some recommendations for this customer at this point. And then Jude's gonna go into our all data, which costs money, right? Monthly subscription ain't cheap, and see what those airbag service codes are. They still may be covered under the warranty at Hyundai. I think the airbag systems are covered for 100,000 miles, but I'm not sure about that. But we'll see if there's any technical service bulletins or recalls, and then we'll advise the customer for there. Thanks for watching. Stay with us. It's always a fun adventure.